So this month we've been talking about all the different basics of mortgages, things like the different types of options out there, different terms, fixed versus variable, all of these different potential things you might do with your next mortgage. So I wanted to sort of recap, talk a little bit about first and foremost, Bank of Canada. So there haven't been a hasn't been a change this month. That's huge. It's been over a year since the Bank of Canada started raising interest rates. So it's the first pause in a very long time. And what that means for most of us is a little bit of a reprieve in interest rates for those people that are still variable. For the people that are fixed rates, well, it actually means those fixed rates, if you're renewing or if you're getting a new mortgage right now, are a little bit lower than they would have been even just a few weeks ago. So all in all, this is a good sign. It means that the economy is finally starting to slow down, that we're going to see that inflation is starting to come down. Interestingly, right now, the inflation numbers are sort of skewed. And they're skewed by the fact that mortgage rates and cost of borrowing for most mortgages have gone up so much in the last year that it's actually making inflation look worse than it is. So we're kind of waiting for that effect to sort of make its way through the economy, reflecting inflation hopefully coming even lower over the next few months. And the markets right now are pricing in rate reductions by the Bank of Canada as early as the end of this year, maybe spring 2024. So definitely some big changes to come. In the world of fixed rates, so we talked a little bit this month about how to choose, whether it's a variable or a fixed, what length of term you might want to opt for. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of clients picking 3 and 4 year fixed rate terms. So with variables kind of reaching that peak and staying put for a while, a lot of people are going back to choosing a fixed rate again, which is awesome. But we're not choosing fixed rates in 5 year terms like we traditionally have. What that tells me is that the general public, people that are reading the news have picked up on the fact that interest rates are not going to stay this high forever. So rather opting for these really long terms, which is what we would have typically seen before 2021 and 2022. A lot of people, years gone by would pick a 5, even a 7 or a 10-year term for the security with the idea that rates were going up from there. Sure, in a lot of ways that might have been a good move, but right now we've got people opting for shorter terms, basing that decision on the fact that they're expecting rates to be lower when they renew. So if you're thinking about taking a fixed rate, now might be the time to look at one of those shorter terms where traditionally we might not have. And very last thing I want to leave everybody with, I read an interesting news article this month that I thought really highlighted an important thing going on in the housing market over the last 15, 20 years. It's been a long time that this change has been creeping up on us, but cost of living. So there was a study done about a year ago now to look at what the cost of housing has done versus the cost of other goods in our lives. And three things stood out to me that I thought were really interesting comparison. So if the cost of a Big Mac had gone up to keep pace with the cost of housing, we would now have a hamburger at McDonald's that costs $12. That's just the burger, nothing else. So clearly Big Macs are not $12 yet, maybe soon, but that cost hasn't kept up with housing. Gas, same thing. If we had gas prices that had kept pace with the cost of housing in Canada, we'd be paying $3 a liter. So compared to that, gas seems pretty reasonable. And the last one was an average mid-size car, some compact car, I should say, a Honda Civic. If it had kept pace with the cost of housing, so if the increase to that cost of a Honda Civic had gone up like housing had, we'd be paying $70,000 for a base model Honda Civic right now. Now, they're not. Now, I'm not going to say that, vehicles are cheap, but they're certainly not $70,000 for a basic Honda Civic, which means housing really has gone up a lot over these last, 10 to 20 years. And it's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about helping people get into home ownership is owning your home is one of the best ways you can hedge against inflation because you are now in the driver's seat for what you've paid for that home. And if the housing market continues to go up from here, all the better. You're getting some benefit from that. So on that note, if you know anybody in your life that needs some advice or has some questions, tell them to reach out. I am always happy to help. And thanks so much for listening, everybody.